World's most dangerous cartel explained, Sinaloa Empire.
This story is a dramatized adaptation inspired by real events. Some names, places, and details have been changed for privacy. Every event is drawn from publicly documented realities of Mexico's drug war and responsibly dramatized for storytelling. The Saint of Death. At dawn, the city of Culiacán glows a pale orange beneath the rising sun. Rooftops shimmer with humidity, the smell of diesel and tortillas mingling in the air. Down in the alleyways, roosters crow between bursts of reggaeton. Somewhere past the outskirts, gunfire pops like distant fireworks, an everyday reminder that the Sinaloa Cartel never really sleeps. El Guero kneels before his small altar. On it stand three objects: a silver revolver, a candle, and a glass statue of Santa Muerte, the Saint of Death. The walls around him are bare except for a single poster of Jesus Malverde, the legendary narco saint of Sinaloa. Guero whispers a prayer under his breath, the same one he says before every job. Protect me from betrayal. Let my hand not shake. Receive these bullets, my offering. He picks up 6 rounds and scratches names into the brass with the nail targets assigned to him the night before. The ritual is personal, not theatrical. In his mind, faith is insurance. According to Mexican federal investigations, SEDENA 2023, many cartel hitmen, sicarios, invoke Santa Muerte before missions, believing she grants invisibility from law enforcement and death itself. Outside, a pickup truck idles. The men inside wear black shirts, their weapons hidden under construction tarps. Guero joins them, face impassive. Another day's work for the Empire. The machine of Sinaloa. To outsiders, the Sinaloa Cartel is synonymous with Joaquin El Chapo Guzmán. But within Mexico, it's understood as a network, a living system that survived his capture and adapted faster than the state hunting it. According to US DEA reports, 2023, the cartel exports fentanyl, methamphetamine, heroin, and cocaine to more than 40 countries. Its annual revenue is estimated between $3 and $12 billion, a figure that dwarfs many legitimate corporations. In the state of Sinaloa alone, roughly 1 in 10 residents earns part of their income from activities tied to organized crime, whether knowingly or not. The cartel's geography is both blessing and armor. The Sierra Madre Occidental Mountains stretch for hundreds of kilometers, dense with forests and hidden airstrips. Locals call them La Sierra Protegida, the protected range. It's there that hundreds of clandestine labs convert imported Chinese precursors into crystal meth and fentanyl tablets bound for the United States. When military units find one lab and burn it, 2 more appear deeper in the ravines. A senior Mexican official admitted in a Reuters interview, 2022, "We destroy labs weekly, but the system is hydra-headed. You cut one, and another grows." Guero began here at 17, like most recruits. He worked first as a lookout, paid in cash and amphetamine pills, then learned the trade of violence. Killing wasn't heroism, it was employment. Jamilet's dream. Across town, Jamilet adjusts the straps of her knockoff designer heels. She's 19, raised in a neighborhood where the only reliable incomes are agriculture, emigration, or crime. Her father disappeared when she was 11, one of the more than 50,000 people listed as disappeared in official Mexican government records. She scrolls through her phone, women posing beside sports cars, holding stacks of pesos, tagged #Vida Bonita and #Reinadelpatron. The images promise escape. Jamilet tells herself she isn't like them, just curious. But she also knows that a single relationship with a cartel lieutenant could feed her family for years. Sociologists at UNAM, 2023 Crime and Society Report, call this phenomenon narco aspiration, poverty wrapped in glamour. The cartel's money funds schools, parties, even church renovations. It buys loyalty by default. That night, Jamilet meets a man named El Mino, a mid-level operator controlling fuel theft along the coast. He arrives in a black Chevrolet Suburban with tinted windows and a pistol on the console. She smiles, knowing exactly what she's doing. He smiles too, knowing she has no idea what she's entering. Luis, the boy with a choice. In the nearby town of Navolato, Luis, age 17, smokes his first cigarette behind a mechanic's shop. His teacher called him bright, his mother called him stubborn. Neither could compete with the promise of 10,000 pesos a week carrying packages through the hills.
Only a lookout, the recruiter said. No danger.
According to Mexico's National Statistics Institute, INEGI 2023, teenage dropout rates in cartel-controlled regions are twice the national average, and under 25 homicide rates have tripled since 2010.
Luis dreams of buying sneakers, maybe a motorcycle. He doesn't dream beyond that, few do. In Sinaloa, short futures are the norm.
When he disappears 2 months later, his mother files a missing person report.
She never hears back. Santos and the business of death.
Every story in Culiacán has two endings, prison or burial. For Santos, a 42-year-old funeral director, both are profitable. He drives an old white hearse with faded gold lettering Funerals Santos Hernandez. He doesn't ask who the dead belong to, he just takes calls and moves fast. In this city, he says, the living argue. The dead pay cash. According to Mexico's Interior Ministry, 2020, the nation recorded over 230,000 drug war-related deaths since 2006. 2019 was the deadliest year on record, with more than 35,000 homicides. Each one meant business for men like Santos. His assistants clean bullet wounds, powder faces, and drive coffins through neighborhoods still echoing with gunfire. Sometimes the shooters attend the funerals. Sometimes the police do.
Often, they're the same people. Santos tells a journalist from El Universal. People think I profit from tragedy. But tragedy is the only stable job left.
Isabel, the searcher.
30 kilometers north, Isabel begins her morning with a folded map slipped under her door.
No name, no signature, just a drawing of an arroyo and an X beside a cactus. She packs gloves, a metal probe, and 2 bottles of water.
She belongs to Los Rastreadores del Fuerte, one of hundreds of volunteer groups made up mostly of mothers searching for the missing.
According to Human Rights Watch, 2022, Mexico has more than 100 active collectives that have uncovered thousands of clandestine graves ignored by authorities. When Isabel arrives at the site, the earth is soft and smells of rain. She kneels and pushes her rod into the ground. At 30 centimeters, she feels resistance, cloth. Her breath catches. She whispers a prayer not for justice, but for confirmation. In her backpack she carries laminated photos of her son, missing since 2017. Every bone she uncovers could be him or someone else's miracle.
The saint's silence. That night, El Guero returns from his mission.
The job was simple, a rival's courier caught selling pills without permission.
1 bullet. Quick, efficient.
He cleans his hands in the sink and lights another candle for Santa Muerte.
Outside, Culiacán vibrates with music and engines. Inside, the flame flickers over the names etched on his bullets.
Jamilet laughs somewhere across town, her new phone reflecting the same city lights.
Santos zips another body bag. Isabel digs by flashlight. And the empire continues, fueled by fear, faith, and necessity. In Sinaloa, no one calls it evil. They call it life. The life and death economy. In the city of Culiacán, money moves faster than truth.
Every sunrise brings another truck of produce to the markets, another convoy of armed men rolling quietly through side streets. The legitimate and the illegal share the same rhythm, the same oxygen.
One feeds the other. The price of peace.
For residents, calm is deceptive.
A day without gunfire doesn't mean safety, it means business is running smoothly.
According to Mexico's Secretariat of Public Security, SSPC 2023, most cartel-related killings occur when factions break agreements, not when they prosper. In a modest house on the city's north side, El Guero counts money on a scarred kitchen table.
Bundles of pesos, wrapped in rubber bands, smell faintly of gun oil. His latest payment, 80,000 pesos, will be divided among his crew.
A few notes go to his mother, the rest to his saint.
The organization rewards obedience, not loyalty. As long as Guero completes contracts, his life is secure.
The moment he hesitates, he becomes expendable, one more body for Santos's hearse.
That night, he sits outside under the dim glow of a single bulb.
Across the street, children play soccer with a dented can. Their laughter mixes with distant gunshots that no one bothers to acknowledge. Culiacán sleeps lightly, always listening. Jamilet's gilded cage. Jamilet's new life begins with perfume and silence. El Mino gives her gifts, gold bracelets, designer bags, dinners in restaurants guarded by armed men. She posts nothing online, he forbids it. Only fools show what they love, he says. According to a 2022 ANAC report on gender and organized crime, women linked to cartel figures often enjoy short bursts of wealth followed by years of fear. Jamilet learns quickly. She keeps her phone locked and her questions few. Her mother, still washing clothes for neighbors, pretends not to know. In Culiacán, everyone understands that asking is dangerous. At night, when Mino's calls come, she feels both desired and trapped. She imagines leaving, maybe to Guadalajara or Los Angeles. But every promise of escape requires permission from the very man she hopes to flee. Luis and the mountains. High above the city, Luis wakes in a plywood shack beside barrels of chemicals. He's been in the Sierra for 4 months, guarding a meth lab hidden beneath blue tarps. He earns more than his father ever did, but each night he dreams of police sirens echoing through the valleys. He no longer counts the days. He counts helicopters. Don't worry, his supervisor tells him. The army only hits big labs. But Luis knows the numbers. Since 2018, the Mexican military has destroyed over 1,400 clandestine drug facilities, mostly in Sinaloa and Durango. Each raid ends the same: flames, arrests, disappearances. On his 18th birthday, he receives a pistol, a token of trust. That same week, he witnesses his first execution. A worker accused of stealing chemicals is shot twice in the chest. No one speaks during dinner that night. Luis doesn't sleep again for 3 days. Santos and the Ledger of the Dead. For Santos, business has never been better or worse. Funerals now come in waves. His small mortuary handles 5, sometimes 10 bodies a week. Most arrive under police escort, though the paperwork rarely matches reality. He keeps 2 ledgers, one for official records, one for truth. The second, handwritten, lists causes of death as whispered by the families: Balacera, Adjust de Cuentas, Levantin. Gunfight, settling scores, abduction. According to Mexico's National Forensic Institute, 2023, nearly 40% of homicide victims show signs of execution rather than crossfire. Santos doesn't need statistics, he sees it in the eyes of mothers who can't afford coffins. Sometimes, cartel representatives pay him directly bundles of cash left on the counter with no words exchanged. Respect the face, they say, meaning, make the dead look peaceful. He does his best. He powders bullet wounds, stitches broken jaws, and closes caskets quickly. But at night, when he washes his hands, the smell of formaldehyde lingers, clinging like guilt. Isabel and the Map of Bones. In the dry hills outside Los Machos, Isabel follows another anonymous tip. She leads a small team of mothers carrying shovels and prayer cards. Each step cracks the brittle earth. They find the first bone before noon, a femur wrapped in faded denim. A few meters away, a wallet half buried in the dirt reveals a driver's license from 2019. The name means nothing to them, but someone will recognize it. The government rarely helps. According to Human Rights Watch, 2023, families of the disappeared often receive no forensic support, forcing them to conduct amateur excavations themselves. Isabel has trained her eyes to notice details police ignore: disturbed soil, a faint odor, flies circling in patterns. When she returns home that evening, she lays the found belongings on her kitchen table and photographs them under a single bulb. Then she prays, not for justice, but for rest. A system built on fear. Every city has an economy. In Culiacán, death is currency. From the street vendor selling tacos to armed guards earning twice a teacher's salary, the cartel's money trickles everywhere. It funds local festivals, sponsors soccer teams, pays doctors' bills. Even churches accept anonymous donations. Economists at El Colegio de Mexico, 2023, estimate that organized crime injects billions of pesos annually into regional economies, blurring the line between crime and commerce. For many, rejecting cartel money means starvation.
The police know it too. A 2022 Transparency International survey ranked Mexico among the most corruption-vulnerable nations in Latin America. Bribes aren't aberrations, they're routine maintenance of a failing system. Guero pays his monthly quota to a local commander, an envelope slipped into a glove box during a handshake.
In exchange, patrols never stop his vehicle.
Everyone profits. No one sleeps easy. The faith of the damned.
On Friday nights, hundreds gather in candlelit shrines to Santa Muerte. Statues in red, gold, and black robes stand before altars covered with tequila, cigarettes, and rose petals. The faithful pray for protection, cops, criminals, mothers, soldiers alike. Anthropologists from UNAM's Department of Religion Studies, 2022, note that devotion to Santa Muerte surged after the drug war began, reflecting a population caught between lawlessness and faith. To worship her isn't to celebrate death, they write, but to acknowledge its inevitability.
Guero stands among them, face hidden beneath a hood. He lights a candle and murmurs a name, Luis. He doesn't know the boy personally, but he heard about a young lookout executed for panic during a raid. In this city, every rumor feels like a mirror. Jamilet's choice. Months pass. Jamilet's world tightens.
El Mino grows suspicious, accusing her of talking too much, of wanting attention. He slaps her once, a small reminder of who decides her worth. She tells herself it's love. Then one night, she watches him beat a driver for losing a shipment.
Blood splatters across marble tiles. Something inside her cracks.
She begins saving quietly, a few pesos from his wallet here, a bracelet pawned there. Her plan is dangerous but simple: take a bus north to Nogales, cross into Arizona, and disappear.
She dreams of studying cosmetology, of sleeping without fear. But secrets are currency in the cartel, and secrets rarely stay hidden.
The storm approaches. By mid-year, tensions flare between the Chapitos faction and older commanders loyal to El Mayo Zambada. According to Reuters, 2023, and U.S. Treasury sanctions reports, the split centers on fentanyl profits and territorial control.
Gun battles erupt across Sinaloa's capital. Civilians lock themselves inside, power flickers on and off as explosions echo from the outskirts.
Santos works non-stop, his morgue overflowing.
Isabel cancels searches, too dangerous. Guero receives new orders, this time not for strangers but for traitors. He hesitates.
Among the names, one feels familiar.
Luis's cousin.
Guero stares at the list for a long time before loading his gun. The saint of death watches from her altar, silent and impartial.
The equation of survival. In Sinaloa, morality bends to necessity. Guero kills because someone must pay him. Santos buries because someone must mourn. Isabel digs because no one else will. Jamilet prays for a door that doesn't exist.
And Luis, young, brave, already gone, becomes one more statistic in the ledger of a nation at war with itself.
The Sinaloa Empire isn't sustained by cruelty alone.
It thrives because it fills a void left by corruption, poverty, and fear.
When institutions collapse, crime becomes governance. When justice disappears, faith replaces law.
And when death becomes ordinary, people stop calling it tragedy.
They call it life. The fall of the empire. At sunrise, the city of Culiacán feels different.
The air is thicker, quieter, as if the streets themselves are holding their breath. For days, rumors have spread through WhatsApp groups and taxi radios: the army is coming again.
Not for a lab, not for soldiers, for someone important. The capture. It happens just before dawn on January 5, 2023.
The Mexican army launches an operation in the small town of Jesus Maria, northwest of the city.
Helicopters circle above as armored vehicles block every road.
Inside one of those homes hides Ovidio Guzmán Lopez, one of El Chapo's sons and a key figure in the Sinaloa Cartel's fentanyl trade. When soldiers move in, all hell breaks loose. Gunmen flood the streets.
Civilians flee as buses and trucks are set ablaze to block the roads. Automatic gunfire echoes from every direction. The skies above Culiacán turn black with smoke. According to official reports from Mexico's Secretariat of Defense, SEDENA, and BBC News, 2023, at least 29 people are killed in the fighting. 10 of them soldiers. Schools close, airports shut down, and the government orders people to stay indoors. For nearly 24 hours, the city belongs to the cartel again. When it's over, Ovidio is in custody, handcuffed and silent. His capture is hailed internationally as a victory. But in Culiacán, few celebrate. They've seen this before: leaders fall, the machine survives. Guero's last job. While the gunfire fades, El Guero sits in a safe house miles away, staring at a phone vibrating on the table. His orders are simple: silence anyone suspected of leaking information to the authorities. He's tired, not just of killing, but of pretending it means something. The cartel once promised him protection, now it offers only paranoia. He opens his drawer, sees the small silver statue of Santa Muerte, and whispers, "If my time's up, don't make it hurt." He takes his gun and drives into the city. At a red light, he notices a convoy of soldiers sweeping through the streets, rifles pointed out the windows. A mother crosses the road holding her child's hand, pretending not to see. For a brief moment, Guero wonders what it would feel like to be invisible again, to be nobody. That night, as he parks behind a warehouse, he realizes he's being followed. 2 motorcycles, no headlights. He doesn't run. He steps out, weapon in hand, and fires first. Then everything goes silent. The next morning, Santos receives the call: a pickup near the industrial zone. Another nameless body, tattooed, eyes open. He recognizes the bullet casings, the same caliber Guero once ordered engraved for his victims. The killer had become his own offering. Jamilet's escape. Jamilet wakes before dawn, heart pounding. The gunfire from Ovidio's capture has barely ended, and she knows chaos means opportunity. El Mino is gone, summoned north to meet allies. She moves fast. She takes the envelope of pesos she's hidden behind a mirror, grabs her old phone, and leaves through the back door. By midday, she's on a bus heading toward Nogales, the Arizona border. She wears sunglasses, hair tucked beneath a hoodie. Outside the window, the desert stretches endlessly, a place both beautiful and unforgiving. As she crosses into Sonora, her phone rings. The screen shows a single message: "Don't run." She turns it off and keeps her eyes on the road. According to Mexico's National Migration Institute, 2023, thousands of women from cartel-dominated regions flee each year, escaping coercion, debt, or fear. Some vanish. Others build quiet new lives under different names. No one hears from Jamilet again. But weeks later, a salon opens in Tucson, Arizona, no sign, just a single word painted on the door: Fe, meaning faith. Luis, one of thousands. Up in the mountains, the soldiers find a burned-out truck. Inside, they discover human remains and several identification cards, one of them belonging to Luis, age 18. It's a detail buried deep in a government report, one of hundreds filed that month. His mother never sees the report. She's at home, waiting for a knock that never comes. For her, Luis is not dead, just missing. Like more than 50,000 others, according to Mexico's National Registry of Disappeared Persons, 2023. Every missing son is both a wound and a question the government refuses to answer. Santos and the Dead City. Culiacán's morgues overflow. After the January raids, bodies arrive faster than paperwork. Santos works 20-hour shifts, his gloves soaked with chemicals. He listens to the news while embalming government officials praising the operation as a success. But for every body tagged as cartel, he knows at least one was an innocent caught in the crossfire. He closes each casket with care, whispering a prayer. The dead, at least, can rest. The living have to keep pretending. Late one night, he stands outside his funeral home, cigarette glowing in the dark. A convoy passes, soldiers this time, not sicarios. Different uniforms, same silence. Santos exhales smoke and mutters, "The business never ends." Isabel and the truth beneath. A week after the fighting, Isabel receives a message: another map, another X.
It points to an area outside Jesus Maria, the same region where the raid took place. She hesitates. The soil there is still fresh with blood. But duty outweighs fear. She and her group drive out before sunrise. The earth is soft, marked by tire tracks. They start digging. At 40 centimeters, they uncover the first bone. Then another. Then 5 more. Each one tells the same story, lives erased without record. She takes photos, sends them to the authorities. No one replies. According to Amnesty International, 2023, less than 2% of disappearances in Mexico result in convictions. For the rest, truth comes only from people like Isabel, mothers with shovels, digging through the silence. That evening, she writes in her notebook. Every empire falls. But its ghosts remain. The global machine. Outside Mexico, the Sinaloa Empire doesn't die, it evolves. In U.S. federal court filings, 2023, prosecutors described the cartel's international network: traffickers in Arizona, chemists in Sinaloa, distributors in Chicago and Vancouver. Even with Ovidio captured, DEA reports show fentanyl shipments increasing across the border, often hidden in commercial vehicles or consumer goods. A senior U.S. official told the Washington Post that dismantling the cartel is like trying to stop the ocean with a net. For every arrest, another generation steps forward, ambitious, desperate, fearless. The cycle repeats because the system that feeds it remains unchanged: poverty, corruption, addiction, demand. The empire endures not through leadership, but through need. The fall that wasn't. Months after Ovidio's capture, Culiacán returns to its deceptive calm. Shops reopen, schools resume, and the markets fill again with noise. But under the surface, new names begin to circulate: El Raton's lieutenants, Los Ninis, younger men rising fast. In the city's cemeteries, rows of white crosses grow like crops. The cartel funds mausoleums larger than houses, marble tombs engraved with nicknames and brand logos. Death, here, has become status. Guero's grave is unmarked. Luis has no grave at all. Jamilet's name, if she still uses it, is whispered only by her mother. Santos keeps working. Isabel keeps digging. And in a candlelit corner of Culiacán, the Saint of Death still watches, surrounded by fresh offerings, tequila, bullets, and prayers. Epilogue: The Sinaloa Legacy. 15 years into Mexico's drug war, over 230,000 people have been killed, and the numbers keep rising. Each administration promises to end it. Each fails. The Sinaloa Cartel, born from the ashes of failed policy and poverty, remains the model for global organized crime: adaptable, decentralized, nearly indestructible. It is not the world's most feared cartel because of brutality alone. It is feared because it functions like a state, one that provides what the real one cannot: income, identity, and a kind of order built on fear. Every death adds to its myth. Every survivor sustains its silence. And somewhere, far from the mountains, a new recruit whispers a prayer to Santa Muerte, loads a gun, and steps into the same story. This story is a dramatized adaptation inspired by real events. Some names, places, and details have been changed for privacy. Sources: BBC News, 2023, Reuters, 2023, The Washington Post, 2023, US DOJ filings, 2023, DA reports, 2022 to 2024, Amnesty International, 2023, Mexico SEDENA official releases, 2023, National Registry of Disappeared Persons, 2023.